Okay, let's talk about the overall investment environment. 9 days ago, President Trump announced to the whole world that those were the rules for doing business in America going forward. The tariffs were here to stay. His policies were not going to change. I'm just quoting him from his Truth Social messages. And then, of course, on Wednesday, he issued this 90-day pause on most of the tariffs. And in his own words, it was because the bond markets were getting queasy and yippy. So here's what one small business owner told CNN about the impact that this whiplash is having on her.
A pause is better than no pause, but the uncertainty is still really chaotic for a small business like me. And now, even if I move out of China, how am I going to be certain that if I place an order today, I won't find a new tariff tomorrow? This up and down is just something as a small business I can't pivot to.
So that's Sarah Wells from Sarah Wells Bags. Well, what do you say to small business owners or even big business owners who say they're having difficulty making long-term business decisions because the country seems right now to be run by capricious whim?
Oh, I don't think at all it's run by capricious whim. The way that I would think about it is that in the previous administration, you could sort of say, if you're thinking about it in a football analogy, is that they were running out the clock. And that what's going on now in the Trump administration is across a wide array of policy areas, we're in a two-minute offense. And the two-minute offense is pushing, as you've seen, the reconciliation bill through so that we get tax relief for American people, deregulation, and of course, trade policy. Now, on the trade policy, the whole point of the trade policy is to address the national emergency that we're too dependent on foreign products in the U.S., especially if we were at a time of conflict, and we're doing something about that. And the reciprocal act was basically, guys, if you come to the table and negotiate with us and treat us the same way we treat you, then we'll get your rate really low. And so right now, 130 countries have responded, and we're negotiating with them, and they've got their rate down to 10%. And so really, it's kind of almost a two-world system. There's a process about China, and that's very, very nascent, if at all, and then the process for everybody else. So the process for everybody else is orderly, it's clear, people are coming to town with great offers. We've got Japan, Korea, India. I was just talking to the foreign minister of India, and everything is moving forward very quickly. And so I guess that the bottom line is that the small business owner has experienced over the last few weeks the start of a process that's settling down really quite quickly. Again, 130 countries are at 10% now. So
let's talk about these 130 countries, because as you know better than I do, it typically takes months, if not years, to negotiate trade deals. Trump's signature trade deal from his first term, a great achievement, according to both Democrats and Republicans, NAFTA 2, or the USMCA, that took 15 months to put together. How exactly are you and your team and the USTR team, how are you going to negotiate deals that actually deliver for the American people with more than 100 countries in less than 3 months?
Oh, yeah. First of all, I just a little bit of more clarification. One of the things I like to ask people is, who's the chairman of the National Economic Council? And then everybody think, oh, it's you, Kevin. Well, no, I'm the director. The chairman of the National Economic Council is President Trump. And so what President Trump does is he sets out a path for everybody, for Howard Lutnick and Scott Bessent and for Jameson, on how they would move forward on a particular policy matter. And then it's my job as director to make sure that the president's wishes are being fulfilled. I'm kind of there to help everybody succeed. And I can tell you, I've been watching the people who are assigned to different assignments working really, really hard on getting trade deals forward over the last many weeks. And so one of the things that we were thinking about this week was that we had a few of these deals that are so close to baked that we could announce that we have a deal in principle. You're right that getting the fine print out would maybe take a little longer, but we were thinking about announcing a deal in principle even this week, but then we were making so much progress so rapidly that the president decided to instead of having one or two things right now, just go for the 10% pause. And I think it was the right answer given the massive amount of momentum that we've been seeing.